I can't
What's
hear you.
going on, people? Welcome to Drama Free Gaming. It is what it says, and it says what it is. And you already heard Jay. He's already all wild up and talking with Henyo in the background. So we're going to jump right into it. Welcome to DFG Podcast 41. Let me slow down because I was like mumbling, jumbling all over my words. But I'm just excited. I've been holding a lot back. Pre-show, I was talking with Henyo about some stuff, and I'm just like ready to go. So podcast number 41 here for the end of 2020. And today we're going to be chatting as always about what we're playing and stuff that's going on. But primarily the main focus, if we can stay focused, Jay, is predictions for 2021.
Here we go. We gotta start. We gotta end 2020 with y'all jumping on me. Is that how we gonna start 2021?
That's just the trademark of the show. That's just how it goes.
What we gotta do. I already gotta get hyped and busted on already. You know what? It's all good. I love y'all too.
Well, I guess that we'll count that as your introduction, right? Can we do that?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
All right. So Jay's in the house as always. Jay, I just gotta say, right off the top of the show, you know, it's the end of the year. People get sentimental, and even though I've been accused of having no heart, and you know, I think people are right about that to a certain degree. I do appreciate you. Thank you for being here, for making things interesting, lively, and it's always just a better conversation when you're not just talking to yourself, right? So, you know.
I want to say, I appreciate the thanks, and brother, you have a heart. It may be a little stony to some, but people don't understand you. That's why they say those things. But I understand you. The gamer family understands you.
I appreciate
we all
that.
love you.
Well, I don't know about everybody loving me. I don't want nobody like loving me like that, like being fake about it. But anyways, we'll talk more about that. So we go on.
Get his brother some fake love, y'all.
Yeah, we just gonna move on from there and get all kumbaya on me. But anyways, we also got with us Henyo, who's ready to explode. Henyo, what's up? Talk to these people.
What's up, everybody? Over here. Barely made this show, but I'm here.
Barely made this show.
Yeah.
When I told that brother we were like on and whatever, he's like, "Great, I'll be home in 20 minutes." So
hold on. What Henyo didn't mention, y'all, is that brother sitting over there eating some shrimp, sucking on an apple teeny.
Really?
All right. He said, and quote his words, "I'm living my best life." Wow.
He ain't sharing none of that with me on the pre-show. I don't know about that. So.
That part was almost late. I had to run out to get some cocktail sauce.
Look at it.
Wow. Living it up. Dang. I don't even have like chips or nothing near me, man. I'm just like, I'm gonna have to rough it this episode.
This brother had to go get some sauce to get sauced. I mean, come on now.
Wow. Well, anyways, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, obviously it's here on Drama Free Gaming. Again, appreciate you being here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It's all good. I think we up to like 365 subscribers at this point, and I know that there's plenty of you guys out there that are actually listening to this either after the fact here on YouTube at Drama Free Gaming, or you're actually catching the audio. I see the numbers, and it's encouraging to see that people are actually enjoying the content and coming back, and that's all good. As always, we do this for fun. And just your average Joes, average gamers. I never tire saying that because it's true. It's who we are. It's what we do. And we're just here just sharing this time. But yeah, like we said earlier, 2020 is on its last 2 days. Actually, tomorrow's the 31st. At the time of recording this, it's the 30th of December, 2020. And Jay, I think this is the first time that we've done a 2021 predictions podcast, right?
Yeah, this is the first time that we've sat down and did something like this. You are correct.
Yeah, because I don't recall us doing this at any other time, and I'm just I'm excited. I'm ready to go and throw out our predictions and see what's going on in our heads and what do we think is coming up. But before that, as always, I like to talk about actual gaming. What have we been playing? And Jay, I'm gonna throw that one at you first. What have you been playing lately?
So for Christmas, I got an arcade one-up machine,
Nice.
and it was given
Nice.
to me by my mom. And I got X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Okay.
It also has Marvel versus Capcom, X-Men: Children of the Atom, and yeah, and my youngest son, he's like, Dad, I want to play. So, I let him get down. And this is how you realize, and this is how I realized how long I've been in gaming.
Mm.
He asked me straight up, like, Dad, when did this game come out? And I looked at him and I tilted my head. I was like, son, this game came out in 96. And it caught my breath for a second. I was like, wait, 96? I was 17.
Mm.
In 1996, X-Men versus Street Fighter and That of the Sword was coming out. And at 17 years old, I remember playing these games. And I've been rocking it out because you can also play it online. And man, the
Nice.
nostalgia is, I recommend, guys, I was skeptical on the arcade one-ups, but I will give it the thumbs up seal of approval. Find one you want and grab it. It is fantastic.
Sweet. So you've been putting some time in. You said you can go online with that?
Yeah. They got one, NBA Jam. It's actually online.
Okay.
Yeah, you just build it. It has a built-in Wi-Fi connection. And then you send it your email address, and then it sends you a code. You type in the code, bam, you're online.
What?
And then you just search for a game.
Wow, cool. And there's
Yeah,
people out there playing, huh?
Yeah, people be rocking out, man, and it's amazing the arcade feel and nostalgia that you have, and the comfortability of your own home. Look, I'm fine with consoles, but I came up in arcades, so it just gives me something, and I just look at, and I'm just like, yo, and I had to thank my mom, and as she just wanted to do it for me, and then I thank her very much. So that's what I've been rocking out.
That's cool.
That's it.
I saw
one of those arcade boxes with Star Wars, the original Star Wars one, the what you call it, the polygon one.
Really?
That is all just lines and stuff like that. I've seen that. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Outrun, Burger Time, and Altered Beast are the next ones that are coming.
But like, are you married to that game onto that stand? Could you put in different games, or you just if you want a different game, you got to buy a different booth?
Yeah, but since
cabinet, I believe you call it.
Yeah, but since you're more of a whiz, you can get a RetroPie and rewire it to run anything you want.
Nice, yeah.
So I mean, if you really want to go down that customability of it, you can do whatever you want, so long as you're willing to put in the time and the money.
Yeah. I've seen people do that. Get a RetroPie and then get the emulators and the ROMs, their backup ROMs and whatever, and just like Jay was just saying, putting a little bit of time, a little bit of ingenuity, and just setting it up that way. You can do it that way, or you could even stick a PC back there, just click it into your monitor or whatever, and then just run it that way. So,
yeah.
Yep.
So what about you, Henyo? What's got you on the button clicks lately?
I actually got Cyberpunk for Christmas, along with a key sheet, so I was happy with my Christmas gifts. But I've been rocking out on Cyberpunk, and I installed it. I was able to include patch 106 on the PC, so that's where I'm entering in. So I don't know how much I've missed suffering with anything really bad, but the game's been pretty playable for me. There's a couple of nuances on my side, but nothing that I could oversee that I know they could get past this. So I'm having a great time with Cyberpunk. They just need to tighten up the game in my book.
Yeah, I got a bunch of questions, and we're gonna talk about some Cyberpunk because you know, it's the hot topic again at the time of this recording, and I'm curious to hear what Henyo has to say because he is playing it on PC as he mentioned, and we had a nice little pre-show talk about it. But anything else that you've been attracted to playing recently, Henyo, or is it pretty much Cyberpunk at this point?
The holy trinity for me right now is, MLB The Show, Flight Simulator, which has stabilized substantially. I'm actually, right now, I just recently landed in Charlotte. So I've been state hopping. So I started out in New York, made a pit stop in Baltimore, then went over to, after Baltimore, I went to, Washington, D.C. And from Washington, D.C., I came over to Charlotte, and it's just been beautiful flying, beautiful skies, so I'm very happy with the flight simulations. They gave away some free stuff over the holidays. Nice. They discounted some stuff. The game is very stable at this point. It's just missing a couple of key features, like helicopter would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
And just some more adventures. They give you some challenges and stuff like that, but it could definitely use some adventures. Would be cool. And I mentioned the Holy Trinity. The third game being whatever pops up on my radar. I was playing The Witcher, but Cyberpunk has just overtaken me, and so I put The Witcher to the side.
Yeah,
nice.
For the sake of Cyberpunk, believe it or not.
Two CD PR games. One that speaks for itself, and the other one that everyone is speaking about. So
yeah, and I'm walking in on Witcher on like the golden, what is it called, the deluxe edition, the final version of the game
of the year,
in which they even actually the Gotti version. So I'm walking in on the Witcher as an unbroken state. I never saw it in its ugly version. I never got to see the first patch. So I don't know what I missed, but the game is pretty cool and I was enjoying it. But I just got into Cyberpunk and I haven't been able to jump off. I've been playing at least 3 hours a day.
Nice. And I'm gonna say this before I mention mine and we come back to the topic here of Cyberpunk, because I think even Jay might want to have some questions and comments on this as well. But what you just said is golden. We should bookmark this right here, that you're coming in on a game, The Witcher 3, created by CD Projekt Red, when it's in its gaudy form, game of the year. I mean, the game is even running on the Switch, okay? And it's a game that is renowned. It's one of the best games of maybe all of 2020. That's just how good the game is, but that's not how the game launched. And a lot of people can attest to it that were there in the beginning, but that was then, this is now. And here we go again with CD Projekt Red, not making any excuses for some of the things that were done, but there's a game that definitely should have been postponed, and at least on console should not have been released in the state that it was. But they're working on it, and there's patches coming like every single or every other day from what I understand. But we'll get to that here in a moment. Jay, did you want to add anything else as far as like what you're gaming?
Well, since we all added a little something, ladies and gentlemen, I've been playing Hyrule Warriors Calamity 2 on the Switch, and it is fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah, I just started picking up the Switch again. I was like, it's kind of sat there, gathered a little dust, so I knocked it off and started playing some Hyrule Warriors, and it's pretty dope. If you like Dynasty Warriors and you like Zelda, I definitely give it a recommendation if you have a Switch and want something to play.
Cool. I know my sons would agree with you 100% because they like that Hyrule Warrior type Dynasty Warrior game and stuff. I like Zelda, but not Dynasty Warrior, so I'm not interested. But to each their own.
You are who you are, brother. There's no denying.
Well, let me show what I've been playing. I've been playing, for Christmas, I was able to find the Mario Kart Live circuit, the carts.
Mm-hmm.
and
God.
purchased one for my oldest son, who's a big Nintendo head. I purchased him Mario. I got me Luigi, and we were messing with that like all Christmas Day, just doing different layouts and tracks in the house and racing. And let me tell you, it's a lot of fun, and it looks really good. It's something you have to experience. Like, you have to play it in order to really realize how much fun it is. You definitely have to have a good internet connection, but really it went off without any real glitches or stuttering or anything like that. And the way that Nintendo has actually incorporated like that, kind of like that, not virtual reality, like the augmented reality, that's something that I like personally, over virtual reality. And I hope that Nintendo and other companies follow suit as far as like augmented reality. I would love to see more gaming in the augmented reality space. So, but that's something I got for Christmas. And I've also been playing Immortal Phoenix Rising, the Ubisoft game.
Yeah.
I've been playing that. I've been playing that pretty hard, and I'm surprised how pretty the game looks and how much fun it is to explore that world. They really just kind of like cut loose. It's an Ubisoft game, so you're still gonna find, the Ubisoft elements in there, but it's fun. It's fun. The combat is satisfying. The character progression is satisfying. The humor is like on the nose. It's hit and miss. Sometimes it's like you'll get a giggle. Sometimes you're like, okay, that's corny. But hey, I got it with Bing points, so I only paid $5 for the game, and it was already on discount. And I can't complain. It was between that and Watchdog Legions, but I've never been a Watch Dogs kind of like fan since the first one kind of like let me down. So I decided to go with Immortal Phoenix Rising, and good game, lots of fun. You'll get some serious game time out of that if you're interested. But I would definitely buy the game on discount. I wouldn't pay full price for that game.
Fair enough.
Discount. I love discount.
Yeah, no, we know. Well, I saw that it went, it was like 30% off or something over the holidays. So a $60 game was down to like $40, I think. It was $40.
Was it $35.99 or something like that?
It was, I think Watch Dogs was $35.99 and Immortal Phoenix Rising was like $41. And I had a $35 coupon redeemable from my Bing points that I collect. And I said I can either get Watch Dogs and pay nothing, or $5 more and I can actually get Immortal Phoenix Rising. And I just went with Immortal. And I don't regret it. I think it's really good. It's a lot of fun for what it is. It's just one of those, for me, it's just one of those mess around games. But so far I've put on enough. Wow, how much time have I put into that game? I must have already played that game maybe over 15, 16 hours.
Oh, so you just scratching the surface then.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've unlocked a lot of stuff, but I mean, I spend like one whole day playing it, like 8 hours straight or something. So yeah, so it's been pretty good. I'm gonna keep playing it because it has kept my attention. And and I finished The Last Campfire, which I personally recommend if you just want to play a real chill puzzle game. I think I was when we streamed the last time on the podcast, the gameplay in the background was actually from The Last Campfire, and it's a pretty straightforward game, little small indie game. I enjoyed it. I 100% completed, and it was good. It was good for what it was. So
nice.
So that's what
we're
playing.
What you got for us?
So what do we got today? Well, let's talk a little bit about this Cyberpunk. Let's come back to it, and because I have some questions for Henyo, and then we're gonna get into our predictions here for 2021. But Henyo, you're playing on a PC, and just for clarity's sake, the specs on your PC, you were able to get a hold of one of the new RTX cards, right? You're playing on a 3070.
I'm playing on a 3070 i7, 3.6 gigahertz, 32 gigs of memory, and it's running on an Is it? I want to say it's on the NVMe card.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Tricked it out.
And so,
I'm running it on ultra settings at 2140 by 1440.
Okay, so 2K,
So,
you running on 2K, right?
At least,
Good.
yeah.
1440.
And it looks good. It looks good. I haven't run into bad lag. Nothing that I could, go, oh, what is this? So the game's been pretty fluid for me, with the exception of some of the NPC stuff that's happening, the shenanigans. And NPCs is always the wild card in a video game, because I think it's the one piece that they automate and they don't really pay close attention to. So, it's to me, it's like the one thing that could, throw a glitch into things. Normally, when you have a game that you have a storyline to, you make sure that works, that that portion works. But with stuff that you kind of that's automated, or run scripted, those are the wild cards that almost go unchecked because there's so much of it. So.
Right.
And that would be like walking through a wall somewhere in a distance, somewhere where you shouldn't be in the game, or running into a character that really shouldn't be dealing with. But that to me seems to be like the one weak link right now in the game, the NPC characters. I don't feel like it doesn't feel like when I played Oblivion, I felt like whichever character I interacted with, even if it was an NPC, it meant something. Like, okay, that was a conversation, or that was an excuse me moment. But with these characters in this game, it just felt like there was no attachment to the game to it. Like, it just felt really NPC-ish almost. Like it really felt robotic and just nothing to it, nothing in depth about that NPC.
So you're talking about just like if you were like walking down the street or something, and you bump into a character, or you start a conversation with a character, like they're not. What do you mean? Like they're not grounded in the game? Like there's not really meaningful?
Yeah, it's a lot of NPCs floating around through the world, which kind of makes it look busy, but it's almost like, do they need to be there? Or, well, not even not to need to be there, but it's like your interactions with them. For example, in GTA, I think GTA does this really well. If you bump into a character, or you run into a character, or you stop to talk to a character, you get a relevant reaction, right? But with these characters, it's almost like monotone-ish. It's almost like, it's not a deep, nothing deep. I mean, you try to talk to them and you figure out, okay, this is just, not a conversation type of NPC. It's just like, hey, watch your back, or, that type of stuff.
Okay.
And sometimes it just doesn't feel relevant to what's happening. Like whether you bump into them or you stop to talk to them, it just doesn't feel like it's relevant. Like it's part of the, okay, that was supposed to be your reaction if I try to walk through you. It doesn't. You don't feel that.
So every response is like a hostile response, like they're just ready to throw down with you.
Yeah, it's like you're in an arcade and someone's leaning up against the wall, and you kind of like, you walk up to them and you press talk, and they'll give you like a one-line response that is just like, what I do to deserve that? All I wanted to do was talk to you. Not that it's I don't know. It's just usually one-liners that really don't fit the moment. Like they could just they could either dismiss me or engage in a conversation, but it just doesn't feel like anything like that. It just feels like something far off. It's like, what did you just say? Why did you say that?
So it almost sounds like, in your opinion, it almost sounds like it would have rather been better that the NPCs you kind of didn't have that interaction with them. To just, they better serve the purpose of giving kind of like that busyness to the world, like the world is
Right.
alive and is populated and things are happening, but ain't nobody got time to really talk to you. That would have probably been better.
The minute you either talk to them or bump into them, is just, it takes away from the game.
Gotcha.
I don't know how to describe it any better. It just is like, oh, I should have not stopped to talk to you or
Gotcha.
bump into you. And, God forbid you should hit them with your car. I think all hell breaks loose.
Gotcha.
Okay, I got an example. If you whip out a gun in the middle of nowhere, most reaction would to be, to duck or to run.
Right.
There's instances in which you whip out your gun and they just they'll duck and they'll just stay there.
Mhm.
And then you put away your gun and walk away or walk away from the area and they're still ducked down like they're stuck in that moment, and it kind of takes away from the immersion because they didn't try to run away or they didn't go back to their automation to back to their script of walking about.
Right. I know in the pre-show we talked about also like you also notice and it's not just that we're picking on this game, but we've seen it in other games as well where if you are interacting with a character, let's say in the storyline or something, and you have to like challenge them to some sort of, fight or something, that you would think that they would remain fully engaged until that's resolved. But you found that there's still that invisible boundary or invisible walls, when you was interacting with some of those scenes. Like, explain that.
You could call, it's like a boundary. It's like an arena almost in which the your enemy character kind of sees the line and it's like, I can't get past this. It's almost like it knows I can't get past this, and you could like easily duck around the corner or even just pull back past that little area there, that boundary, and they won't really come after you, even if they're trying to attack you. Like even if they're chasing you, once they reach that line right there, the attack finishes, and they'll just either go back to where they came from or try to attack you again once you enter that arena, so to speak.
Gotcha.
So in that respect, it's like you learn that quick. It's like, oh, I could do this. Oh,
right.
Before, or in newer games, you kind of see them chasing you. Even if you leave the area, I think the Division did this pretty good, in which, they don't stop coming after you.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't feel that with this, game. I mean, there are parts of this game that are really well done that you kind of you're in, you're getting into it, and your conversations with certain characters when the storyline is developing, and I think that's where the meat is. That's where you really see the game really shine, when you're in that path of the main storyline. But when you start stepping away from those, I think that's when the game kind of loses its shine, and it kind of feels a little dumbed down,
Okay.
And that's what I've been experiencing so far. But I mean, as far as the game mechanics and what you can do to develop your character, I'm really enjoying, I'm really getting into. And the main storyline seems like a decent one that I'm following and I'm getting into. But again, it comes down to when the action starts, what happens in there. It's when you start, oh boy, this is gonna be a dumb fight.
Right.
So to speak.
Jay, you want to say anything in there, Jay? Just jump in there.
See, I've been listening to the whole conversation, taking a little bit of notes.
Mm-hmm.
Henyo, since you basically have gotten to get your hands on the game, got to really get into the meat of it, in your opinion, thus far, what do you think the game most needs at its present state?
It needs. I want to. It doesn't need a lot. It needs tightening of some of the automation, the scripting, and stuff like that. But then again, it's like, I don't think they were, like it's something that they could just fix easily, because again, it's automated. It's a script, so there are boundaries to those scripts. You can't. sort of let it fly, and I think that's where they're gonna find difficulty trying to fix the game, so to speak. Yeah,
Now,
they could stop an NPC from walking through a wall, but still that NPC is, there's not much behind it,
now,
I think.
so how far have you gotten into The Witcher?
I had just arrived into the second, you got your initial level, with introductory level, and then you make it past to the I guess I forgot the name of the land. But you just met, you got to the second board, I guess is what it's called on The Witcher. I don't remember the land that I was in.
Yeah, that introductory area where you like defeat the Griffin, and
Right.
then
I
the
got
world
past
really
that.
opens
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
so my point with all that is, when you're playing The Witcher and you're playing an absolute completed work of CD Projekt Red. Now take a look at Cyberpunk, and this is them in the future, and they're about to build a game better than The Witcher. I hope, looking at The Witcher and looking at CD Projekt Red, I hope you can see some kind of excitement for the future of Cyberpunk. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the storyline of it, yeah, I could see that resiliency in the game. Like, it looks really good, and some of the storyline that's unfolding, and some of the modifications you can make to your character. I'm feeling that. But it just feels like the world around it is dumb. It's too dumb. You understand? I like playing games like Far Cry and Oblivion and some of these other games in which you deal with a lot of NPCs, and sometimes they're really good and sometimes they're really bad. But I think these are some of the worst NPCs that I've come across that were just like really dumb.
Yeah, it
Like
goes.
if you're gonna have so many of them, don't have an option to interact with them. If they're gonna
Yeah.
give you a 1-bit line for that, don't give the talk option, because you walk up to them thinking that they're gonna give you a piece of information, and they really don't. It's almost like they don't even sound like the voices don't match the character.
Mhm.
So again, it's taken away from the immersion. So it's almost like I've tried not to deal with NPCs at all.
And
Wow.
and hearing you talking, Henyo, it's interesting, and this is why I'm taking a bit of time to like actually ask you your experience. You're a grounded gamer. You ain't sponsored by no one. You ain't getting a check or anything to say nice things or bad things or whatever it is. You're just looking at a game that is getting a lot of attention, for better or worse. And here are things that sound like it's nitpicking, but
It is.
again, the expectations of this game, the hype level of this game, from the moment they announced it, I believe in 2013, was it? I mean, the game's been in development for a long time, to what it is now.
15.
It's like people's hype levels. Like, when are we gonna learn that what's announced and then the CGI graphic trailer that they eventually show, and even when they showed the E3 gameplay, there was like a 45-minute demo gameplay that they showed off, and people were like, wow, this game is looking like super amazing, it's gonna be groundbreaking, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that. And here you are talking about, well, the NPCs are just, they're fillers. It's best, in my opinion, that they just would have been just silent, passive NPCs instead of,
Right.
Or maybe respond to you in a certain way. Like, I'm thinking about Assassin's Creed games. Like, when you brush up on somebody,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, like scared, or hey, what's going on? But, they're not really interacting. They're just making some sounds or whatever it is, but they keep it moving.
Yeah. And this is maybe something that I'm so used to, in which it's almost I know what to expect from an NPC, and this is definitely subpar. This is below what should be an NPC. Don't give me the option to interact to a character, to an NPC that's gonna feed me. It's not even a sentence that they give you. It's almost like 3 or 4 words of like, well, it ain't my fault. It's like what?
Right.
What did that come from?
What did that have to do with anything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You I don't know. So
well, it's legitimate. I think it's legitimate what you're saying because this is an RPG. It's not, it's not Assassin's Creed where you're just running around and you're like, going after one target and, you really don't need to get any information from anyone along the way. You mark him on the map and you go to him.
Yeah, but I mean, like in games like Oblivion, if you bump into like someone, you're gonna get a response like "out my way, you wanker," and it'll match kind of the moment,
Right.
But it just doesn't feel like that in this game. So I forgot the point that I just wanted to make, but I've been so worried about running into glitches that it's almost like I'm not even worried about the glitches. I'm worried about the interaction of the world that I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Because after all, that's what everyone's complaining about. The game is glitchy, is buggy, is doing this, is doing that. But maybe it's my build, my install, my patch, my PC that I'm not running into that as I'm not annoyed by that, or I'm running into issues like that more than I'm displeased with the level of NPCs in the game.
Right.
Okay. To that note, Henyo, I just want to say on a very good note, you have a lot to look forward to. Because the same complaints people are making now about Cyberpunk, they did the same thing to The Witcher.
Right.
So my best advice, you have a great game in your possession, and you're going to be one of the few people that can sit back and grow with this game. You'll see the ups, the downs, hey, when they say, hey, we got DLC and a brand new huge patch coming, that'll change the game. And then when you jump in and it changes the whole immersion of it, look at that as a experience of growth, and CD Projekt Red has not let anybody down in that aspect. So, I say stick with it.
And I see myself, I think I could play this game more than once because if I'm not wrong, you could pick like not a faction, but you got 3 different backgrounds of a character.
Yeah. Right. 3 different roles, you might say.
Right. And there's benefits to you having one character over the other that will release, information. So I picked the corporate guy because I'm more of a corporate type of guy. I'm not a street hood. I'm not a
nomad. a nomad like a desert rat or something. Yeah.
I fell into the column of corporate corporate property. So
I related to that one.
Yeah, I related to that one easier. So
okay.
I think the game has potential. They just gotta, clean it up a little bit. I don't know how they're gonna clean up those NPCs though.
Well, and you know what? Let me ask you this, because I heard, other. I'm not gonna mention any names or whatever, but other institutions or whatever, game reviewers and stuff. And one of the things that they were talking about, that even though you can pick from the 3 different classes, right? The corpo, the nomad, and the street hood, street rat, whatever, street kid, that each one focuses on, hey, you can go in guns blazing, or you can be a hacker, or you can be, whatever it is. But they kept saying that their critique of it was that no matter how hard you try to go strictly silent, sneak around, hack stuff, kind of like what's this game? Anyways, I'm not even gonna try to remember it. What's that?
Watch Dogs.
Like Watch Dogs. Yeah, like Watch Dogs. I wasn't thinking about that game, but yeah, that's a good example that you can just actually complete a mission and not even step foot into the building. That wasn't really like something they found possible to do with their character, that eventually they had to turn around and go guns blazing if they were going to either like enter a place or if they were going to get out of a place. Have you found that so far in your playstyle? I mean, I'm not sure what type of playstyle you play, if you're more of the sneaking around type or the hacking type or the guns blazing.
Yeah, no, I like to sneak around more than gun blazing because I kind of like to see what's ahead of me all the time. So I just don't walk into stuff like that. But I mean, I've been able to sneak around and go into places where I wasn't supposed to. I was able to hack into certain areas, which will grant me stuff that allows me to enter other areas. So I've tried sneaking onto people, works fine to me. I've distracted characters to allow me to walk right out of a hostile environment.
Nice.
So it's worked for me. Um, and I've walked into battles by accident. But then again, using the arena, I was able to step out of that arena and deal with it properly. Right. So like, for example, if someone's being mugged, you could decide to step in and stop what's happening, or you could distract the enemies and then kind of blindside them. So I'm honestly I'm still kind of preparing my character for better things. So
Okay.
I'm too busy doing side jobs and nothing. I'm not fast forwarding into the storyline too much because I want to develop my character. I'm also playing on the third to hardest, so there's 4 levels of difficulty. I'm playing third level.
Okay.
So I can't go into guns blazing.
Okay. So maybe that's the explanation there. Maybe that's because I'm thinking people's play style, and one of the big draws to this game is that you pick a class and you can spec into these classes and really role play your character the way that you want. So I would find it completely irrelevant if I'm building and specing a guy to be some sort of a tech hacker or something, and then after doing all of that, I'm just like, well, I still got to go in guns blazing. Like, that would defeat the purpose.
Right.
And the replayability of it, not to mention. So
yeah. I want to call it it's almost like the character tree in which you decide the path. You could do physical, intelligence, what is it? Intelligence, physical, smart. Like it just has like these 5 branches of character that you could build them out to, and you could allocate your points as you're receiving them to each branch, right? And then within each branch, there's more branches in which you could really specialize and get like attributes to enhance that particular branch, right? So intelligence leads to hacking, and hacking, you could have more time to hack stuff. You could get more credits for your hack and more experience for your hacks. So, and there's so many different little branches, and this is the part that I was enjoying about the character, that I could fill it out to what I want. Now, how do you apply that when you're going to go into a situation? If it's going to be an alley fight, that's what it is. It's going to be an alley fight. You're going to pull out your shotgun or whatever grenade you have, and you're going to get dirty. You're not going to use no hacking tool or try to outwit the NPC, because the NPC he's just going to come after you, guns blazing. So maybe that's what they're referring to, these alley fights, and there's plenty to choose from, versus the storyline in which I haven't run into anything in which you kind of have to sneak around.
Well, I definitely want to continue this conversation, especially with the patches still coming in like rather frequent. And I know CDPR is going to continue working on this game. You playing on the PC side, and I know we can talk about this all evening, but we're almost like we're over 45 minutes already in, and it's been what we're talking about. I want to talk about predictions, but I do want to make this comment to be clear that you are experiencing this on PC, and my comment to that is you can definitely tell that this game and the attention that CDPR put into this game was primarily to the PC. And because for consoles, it's been, especially for the OG consoles, and I'm talking about PS4 and whatchamacallit, Xbox, original Xbox, have been disastrous. Now, should it be like that? I don't think so, because again, this game has been in development for 7 years, 6 years, 7 years.
6 or well, on that note, honestly, the game wasn't ready, and everybody knew. Even CD said it wasn't ready. So give it a break, everybody. Just give these guys a break.
Excuse me, Jay. I guess my parting words, if I can.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of lagging out here, so I get a delete. I guess my parting words is: look, I'm a little bit patient when a game that I want to play. I think I demonstrated that with Flight Simulator.
Mhm.
I was very frustrated because I could not get this game to fly right. We had a whole podcast on me revamping my machine just to play this game. So I'm patient, but to be honest with you, I've been playing the game. I've been enjoying the game. I've besides the NPCs, there's really no downside that I've like said, oh, I don't want to play this game. Like, I haven't said to myself, you know what, this game needs to be marinated for a little bit, let it sit, I'll come back to it. I have not felt that. If anything, I've been wanting to play it more. So I mean, and
that's awesome.
I left Witcher to go play this.
Right.
Oh, nice.
And you know what I'm going to add to that is that when you're a gamer and you are really looking forward to playing a game, you can look at a game, and if the game captures you and there's enough there that you're willing to overlook certain things and you're still enjoying the game, then go for it, right? Like, we usually get caught in the echo chamber here of social media, and everybody's saying, yo, the game is trash, return it, get your refund, this and that and the other. And hey, more power to you if you do that. But, there's over 13 million copies that were purchased, I think, when the game launched over that, the first couple of days or something. And there was more than that on pre-orders. Unfortunately, on console, like Jay said, it was half-baked. It didn't get the attention that it needed to get in order to be a successful launch so that people could have a good experience with it. But, it is what it is at this point. And so I know that right now CD Projekt Red has actually said, hey, we're working on patches. We're working on fixing it. We're going to gain or regain the trust of the people. And personally, if I had the game right now for console, I would just hold on to it. I would hold on to it, wait for the patches, and experience the game. Or maybe not. Maybe just let it sit, go play something in the backlog, and come back to it in a month or two. No. I mean, that would be me.
Yeah. I can agree to that.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to play the game, but I'm personally waiting for when CD Projekt Red says the Xbox Series X patch is out, because I want to see the ray tracing. I want to see the fidelity. I want everything for the purpose that I have my new system. And if I had a PS5, the same thing. I don't want to play the Xbox One X version, no matter how good it may look or feel or be. That's just the way that I want to experience it. So if I got to wait 6 more months, so be it. That's just me. That's what I'm going to do.
Nice.
Yep.
Sound like a plan.
Jay, you gonna play the game when it comes out? You gonna play it anytime soon? You gonna play the game, or you're not interested in
what, Cyberpunk?
Yeah, Cyberpunk.
I'm gonna do what I normally do. Is Cyberpunk? It just needs time to marinate, and I'm not in any rush to play it right now because there are other things I got to play. I got a backlog to play.
True.
So Cyberpunk can wait. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm a lean on Henyo over the coming months to give us updates on how Cyberpunk's improved, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah. And listen to us, people. If you're tuning in and you're hearing us for the first time, we're your average gamers. We're not the the people on the cutting edge that have to go along with the echo chamber and point out every last negative thing. Like, this is real world, real gaming experience from the average guy playing the game on a decent or more than decent computer. but is having a great time and a great experience. And so, for whatever it's worth, play your game and shut out the noise is what I say. So.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. I was worried about glitches. You know what? I'm playing the game. I'm having a great time. Just avoiding NPCs. That's all.
To top this all off, guys, 100%. It's your time. It's your money.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy your damn game. Period.
I agree. Couldn't have said it better myself. All right. So this is the moment I think that we've been all waiting for. I want to hear some juicy predictions. So, everybody get that the crystal balls out, your whatever it is that you use to look into the future of gaming here, or whatever you think might be relatable to 2021. You don't have to keep it specific to gaming. I will start off by saying this, or maybe posing this to kind of like grease the gears here a little bit to get us in the mood. But in 2020, and this is game related, one of the, or if not the best series on Netflix that I saw that had to do with gaming, I got to experience that at my visit to Jay. And what was that documentary that we saw, Jay? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Hold on.
High Score. High Score. Now, if you guys haven't checked out High Score, it is great. See it. If you're a gamer, it's a must see. It's on Netflix. Look it up. High Score. But for me, that was the best documentary that I saw. And I just wanted you guys, before we go into actual gaming predictions, what was the best series or best documentary or show that you saw in 2020 that is a must-see, in your opinion?
Best series or document? Does it have to revolve around gaming?
No, it doesn't have to revolve on gaming. It's just until we get into the gaming next.
I mean, if you said document, Henyo, take this one. I got to think about that for a minute.
He's thinking now. He's like, he sounded like he was going to answer, and then he just like fumbled it over to you.
Yeah. That's a hot right there. You got to take that.
I'm trying to. I want to say that I saw some High Score, but I don't recall it too well. Man, I'm trying to think of the one that I saw.
Oh, you know what?
I can't recall.
I mean, we were all in lockdown. We saw more TV than not this year. So, well, that was Netflix, Hulu, whatever it was. I mean, you was watching something.
Well, you know what? Not to cut you off, Henyo, but I'm going to go with High Score as well. Only because, and I'm going to say this from my own mouth, if you guys truly want to know the history of gaming, like where gaming comes from, where the roots come from, if you just want to know the background of it, please watch it, because it'll be the best thing and the best knowledge you can get from gaming you'll ever see.
I agree. It is definitely a tour of force to give you the history of where it all started. It's just really good. And how many episodes was it? It was just one. It was one season, and it was 8 episodes, and I think each episode was like 45 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a good watch.
It's good. It's definitely a good watch. We have Nate in the house, and we have Kyle in the house. What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, how you doing, gentlemen?
Yep. They're watching our Rainbow Six gameplay from a couple of evenings ago. And Nate is talking about Kyle is the one saying, just a word to the wise, you want Jay running point. It is safer that him following you. Bang bang. Yeah, wow. We know that's true.
Wow. Well, we talking about documentaries, and now we got to talk about me shooting people in the back of the head.
I had to read the comments. Yeah, we had a lot of laughs playing this Rainbow Six. And yeah, it was Jay put one in my head, and then Nate on rescue the hostage. So both of those brothers, I don't know, keep them in front of you.
you walked in front of my
Sure.
gun and happened to catch that bullet.
Sure.
I can't help
Okay. But yeah, but let's not get out of focus here. Think about a TV show, a movie, something that maybe stood out this year that you guys might want to share here.
Well, it's on Henyo now. I mean, I threw a high score right now.
Okay.
I'm terrible with titles, but I think I saw one just regarding the person that actually created, oh man, I'm terrible with this stuff. He was like the true inventor of a game console.
Mm-hmm.
And he really didn't get credit for, he didn't gain the popularity.
You watched High Score. He was
High Score, right? That was one of the episodes, right?
Yeah, he was the guy they invented the actual cartridge-based machine.
Right.
And somebody took it from him, and then that's how Atari blew up with cartridges, and then it just went everywhere. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the episodes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And again, I haven't seen too many of these documentaries, but again, I play games. So
no, that's cool. That's cool. I just want to throw that one out there because, again, I know a lot of us were again shut in and got to see more series and stuff like that. I seen a lot of anime this year and stuff that I was never exposed to and never thought I'd be interested in. And I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad that I saw these shows. So, who wants to start off with the 2021 predictions? Let's talk about PC. Let's start off with PC and some PC predictions. We have new graphic cards that just came out from AMD. Its competitors. Do you think, Enyo, that Intel is going to come out with anything that's gonna ooh and ah us in 2021, whether that be a CPU or anything of that sort?
There's always a roadmap for new hardware. So there is, for me to say no, they're not gonna come out with anything new, is damn foolish. The money tree needs to keep spitting out money. So there is something in their roadmap. What exactly it's gonna be, I just don't have the insight in it. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna end with the recent hardwares that we received. I think we're gonna start looking closer at storage. You're gonna start seeing storage getting faster to meet some of these high demand games, and the amount of space that you're gonna be able to buy with this new technology. So I think storage, Intel will probably dip into the storage speed stuff. And then Nvidia the same. They're gonna dig in there and try to get the most out of their memory or storage that they can to help the GPU compute.
Cool. I agree with you with the storage is a big thing, and hopefully someone figures out something much more quicker. Do you think that the cloud is gonna play a part in how we store our games and access our games, especially PC and console? Because even these current gen consoles, the storage is limited. I think you asked me the other day if I found myself running out of space, and I told you, yeah, I got my internal drive is like almost 80% full. And I got my regular rotation of games that I play in there, but each game is hefty when it comes to storage space. And to upgrade on a console on my Xbox Series X, it's like $210 if I was to get an external memory, which I don't plan on doing. I'd rather keep erasing and moving games around. But do you think the cloud will be something that will be utilized more moving forward with storage?
It's hard because you depending on bandwidth, right? So I think storage is a dime a dozen. They'll give you the storage, but the thing is, it's that bandwidth. Are you gonna have that bandwidth? And I think providers are now opening it up more. They're making it more accessible to you to just not have a 100 megabyte line. Now you could have 200. 300, 500 megabyte line, and they are now offering 1 gig lines. But you have to have the infrastructure in place. I think once you start, getting closer to that, that's when, cloud storage and cloud gaming will become more relevant and more, of an option. But right now, not for next year. I don't see it as being, a big factor uh in the gaming. I mean, yeah, obviously we synchronize our games to it. And there will be some space for saving games up there, but to rely solely on it, as a gaming platform, a lot has to do with your bandwidth, how fast you connect to the internet.
Right. That makes perfect sense. So as far as storage, and we could see some more innovative things here in 2021. Not really any specifics that we're giving here. I don't think none of us are experts, but you specifically said with NVMEs and maybe
Fast.
yeah, just becoming faster. I hope that the
And
prices keep coming down.
And bigger. Yeah, I'm starting to see 2 terabyte NVMe drives as low as $200. That's awesome.
And that is awesome, because I remember just when they first dropped, it was like 500 gigabytes was that price.
Yeah.
So that's coming down. Jay, anything you want to say on this? I know PC's not your thing, but throw your hat in the ring with something, whether it be PC or Switch or whatever console.
Okay. Well, first off, when y'all was talking PC, I was in Charlie Brown corner, and all I heard
we know.
was wah, wah.
We know.
I mean,
we still got to get you upgraded, because, man, brother, you're like, you're running on a potato right now. So
yeah, no, brother, you doing me a favor by saying the potato. This thing is a brick at this point.
Yeah, we need to help you out with that, but I don't know much about PC, but I want to ask you guys something. So, what company, PC or console, do you think is going to put up something that everybody's not going to complain? Or it's just what company is going to bring us the next big game that we're all going to be like, wow? The next big game?
Yeah, 2021. 2021's number one big game. What is it? What is it going to be?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to belong to anyone specific, unless, cross-platforms here and people getting a taste of it. I don't know if it's just going to be on one platform or.
I'll prove you wrong on that.
Okay, it sounds like you have your own opinion on this. What do you think?
You said cross-play and all that. I don't think that's going to matter. Game of the year next year, the game that's going to wow everybody. Santa Monica is going to break down with God of War on PlayStation 5, and it's going to blow everything out of the water.
So you think God of War is coming next year?
Yep. I have a feeling it's going to be holiday 2021.
Holiday? Okay, you heard it here. Bookmark it. God of War, holiday 2021. So November, December of next year.
Now, the only reason I don't see that happening, and I'll say it now, is if they go, hey, the game's been delayed, we're going to push it back. If they do that, I'm more than happy for it. Okay,
no, but you can't talk both sides of the coin. Either it's coming or it's not. Because you just kind of canceled it out, brother. You can't have both ways.
Well, by Santa Monica's admission, they have it listed 2021.
They got it listed 2021.
So you can go through. I pulled up IGN right now, and IGN. Hold on, let me find it. And IGN quotes games in 2021. God of War.
Okay, so do you think? Let me ask this: do you think then that God of War is going to be? No, let me back up. Do you think that the next God of War is going to take advantage of the PS5 and the tech there?
Yeah. Santa Monica, since the PlayStation 2, when they did the original God of War, they have always never failed to push the power of the system to the absolute limit. And I think it's going to be no different for the
So you
PlayStation
think
5.
as early as next year, and I'm giving you an opportunity here to maybe change your mind. I'm playing the advocate here. 2021, these systems just dropped, okay? And you're telling me that you think Santa Monica, first party game studio for PlayStation, has had enough time to learn the architecture of the PS5 to develop God of War and take full advantage of the tech there. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, I'm going to say that only because, and it's going to make sense mostly to me, we don't know when Santa Monica got their hands on the development kit for the PlayStation 5 in general.
Okay,
That was
fair
never
enough.
announced.
Fair enough.
So they could have had it for 5 or 6 years, and we didn't know all about it. So
Fair
yes,
enough.
I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to say yes.
Fair enough. So here we have Jay's game of the year for 2021. It's gonna be God of War. That's what he says. Henyo, do you have anything to throw into that ring?
I don't. I'm not gonna shout out any particular game or developer. It definitely be lots of games coming out this year because the focus isn't so much on the hardware. Everyone now knows the hardware that is the standard. So now you're gonna see developers just start pumping out games with the hardware that they have, and they've had it since last year probably, and I think if there was an E3 this year, it'd probably be a fun one. Just develop, just keep pumping out games at this point. Not worry about what's going to be next gen. There's no. In other words, just put your foot down to the throttle and just start pumping out games. And whether you got a hit or a miss, I think it's okay. Digital delivery is super easy now that you're not investing too much on on an actual disc and marketing and stuff like that. So just an outpouring a game on these systems that you're going to see remakes, and you're going to see hopefully a lot more indie games with a lot richer storylines and easygoing gameplay. It's what people want. They just want to sit down and play a game. Enough with this Call of Duty stuff and
See, I have to disagree with you on that, Henyo. The entitlement is too high for people not want to complain. I mean, I'm being honest about it. People are going to complain just for the sake of complaining. This is what we're seeing now.
So would any of you guys, without barking up that tree, would any of you guys predict that E3 will come back in 2021?
No.
In what context?
I'm talking about live E3. We're going back. People are going to gather at E3. It's going to come back in full force. Anybody want to predict that it's going to come back, or we're going to see the same thing as 2021? I mean, it's 2020.
Go ahead, Henyo.
I said it in my last podcast. Ain't nothing happening till after summer of 2021, and even then, it's going to be with much caution. So E3, there'll be an E3. It'll be almost how the awards were presented the other day, or a couple of weeks ago. But the days of rubbing up against each other in a crowd.
Will we ever go back to a traditional E3 type format, or do you think companies have revalued, reassessed the way they're gonna approach these shows moving forward? What do you predict on that?
I think it's going to be a reevaluation. I definitely think, depending on the country, since we got a lot of different big gaming shows in different countries, I definitely think that the Tokyo Game Show will be something live. But as far as anything E3 here, because E3 takes place in California, and California is a huge epicenter right now, I'm with Henyo on that. An absolute no. But maybe Japan or France or somewhere like that where things aren't as bad.
Yeah, it's not going to happen this year. Unfortunately, it's not. But
Yeah.
but they will be ready. They will be ready, for for 2022. I think they need it to happen because it so much hype happens when these events happen, right? You're there, you're either podcasting from there, you're streaming from there, you're creating a hype just being there.
Right.
Whether the games are good or bad, that environment of just hypeness, it needs to happen. The industry needs that hypeness. It needs large, bigger than life posters of characters that people can relate to. So yeah, they'll get back to it. It's just right now, it's just not gonna happen. Not till people are very well vaccinated and put this behind us and keep moving forward. But
well, do you think? But don't you think the whole larger than life character thing has kind of been overdone, where people just really don't care anymore?
No, people want to see that stuff, and it makes great content for their self, for their influencing self.
Touche.
And it's a great experience. I've gone to Comic-Con. I really enjoy Comic-Con, whether I'm wearing a costume or I'm just walking around, shopping. It's a great experience. Who wouldn't want to be there? And I think that needs to happen. That needs to be part of it.
Yeah, when you said that, I thought about cosplay and how many people cosplay at Comic-Con and at these shows, highlighting the characters of these games that they love to play, or even animes that they love to watch. So definitely, I agree with you on that one, that it's gonna come back, and it's gonna come back in full force. Okay, would anybody agree with me that Nintendo is going to make an announcement sometime in 2021 that they will be releasing another console or iterate on the console that they already have?
Yes and no.
This brother wants it like both sides. Okay, go ahead. Explain.
Well, I'm going to say the reason I'm saying no is because we got the Switch Lite, and I know there's been word out there that they want to do a more powerful Switch unit, but the Switch is still making a whole lot of money, so why would they change that? That kind of, what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right.
And then at the same time, the Switch is still releasing some huge titles. Monster Hunter Rise, Bravely Default 2. I mean, it would be kind of silly at this point in time with them making so much money just off the Switch alone to just be like, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and drop this new system. I think it's going to be another year.
Okay. And when they do, what do you think they're going to drop? Are you think they're going to drop an actual console that's going to bring us or bring Nintendo into the 4K era, or are they just going to do their own thing like they always do?
They're going to do their own thing because it's Nintendo, and Nintendo hasn't proved anybody otherwise. Nintendo going to do what Nintendo going to do, and that's make money and not care what anybody else has to say about it.
Okay, fair enough. They just made that announcement about that theme park, right? That Mario theme. I forget where it is right now exactly. But it's like a Mario World theme park now, and they're cashing in. So it's not just the video games that they're putting out there.
So, Nintendo's always been in a position, whether people realize it or not, Nintendo has always made money. Like, people need to realize how much money Nintendo actually has. If anybody says in your lifetime Nintendo's going broke, you need to be punched in the mouth.
Yeah,
they got money.
Like, we understand that Nintendo is not just a video game company. They're diversified in so many ways. They're a toy company. Now they got this theme park set up, which is like, there's even stuff in there that kind of blends over to video gaming as well. So I mean, it's just like they're innovative. That's what I've always liked about Nintendo. They're always looking for ways to do their own thing and to introduce new things. Sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a miss. But like you said, Nintendo is Nintendo. So how about this? Let me throw this rumor out at you guys, and you tell me if you think it's going to happen as a prediction. So the last that I heard, we understood that Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass, got EA Play on their on the subscription, right? So now you can play EA titles, EA Play on Game Pass as part of Game Pass. And we also have what else on Game Pass? We're gonna have Bethesda, all first party. Now they're first party for Microsoft, so that library there keeps growing. The rumor is that the next company that is going to join or be acquired for Game Pass is Ubisoft. Do you think that's gonna happen?
I'm gonna do a no.
You're saying no. Okay.
I think I just don't see it. I don't feel it. I think Ubisoft is gonna try to keep what they have and not share the wealth.
Okay. Any reason in particular why?
I just don't see them giving up their titles like that. Maybe, I mean, if EA, a big company like EA, was able to do it, maybe Ubisoft, but I just don't see that crossover.
Okay. Yeah, because that's why I reminded you guys that EA, I mean, who thought that EA would make some sort of deal to be on Game Pass?
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
With EA, the thing with EA Pass was their library wasn't big enough. They only had a handful. Besides their sports, there weren't too many games that they could bank on that was like, okay. So, if you take away the sports out of EA's library, there's not too much in there that hasn't been played already. So I don't think it was it was like a no lose situation for EA to jump in with Xbox Pass. But with Ubisoft, I think their titles big. They have enough titles in there to kind of hold their own for a little bit longer.
Okay. What about you, Jay? You think that could happen?
Well, Ubisoft has a lot of money themselves, but in retrospect, Ubisoft has lost a lot of money and had a lot of downside in the games they released. From Division 2 to Breakpoint, and Breakpoint really hurt them. So I would definitely say it's probably a 40% chance, depending on what Microsoft wants them to bring to the table. I mean, that's just kind of the way I see it, because EA needed the help, and Microsoft was like, "Yo, we'll give you that helping hand." And the deal worked out better for EA, since hey, like Henio said, EA really didn't have they didn't have anything lined up, and it was worthless to really do it because it was just dumb. But on Game Pass, hey, we'll join in. But I don't really think Ubisoft needs to do it.
Okay. It's interesting. I mean, it's like I said, it's a rumor about Ubisoft being the next one on Game Pass. I'm going to go on a limb and I'm going to say it is going to happen. I think that it will become a reality. Maybe not all of Ubisoft's library will be on there. Kind of like what we're seeing with EA games. Like, not everything that EA has made is on Game Pass, if you've noticed that. So, but I think that as more and more of these publishers see the success of Game Pass, and they see how older titles get, kind of like a fresh breath of air, and more people are exposed to the games. And then once the titles become available there, more eyes on it, more hands on it. will boost up sales, that Ubisoft coming will be a really big deal, and I think that others will follow suit eventually. I think the long play for Microsoft is them understanding that if they can get as many games and publishers under like one subscription, it's kind of like, I think about Netflix. I wish Netflix would, if I had to pick one, I would just say Netflix. If Netflix can just get Hulu and Crunchyroll and Funimation and all these other like, services under one umbrella, they don't have to stop being who they are, but let's get it all under one monster subscription. That would be ideal for the consumer instead of having like 12 different subscriptions.
Well, Sony actually is working on that. They've acquired Crunchyroll. They've acquired everything. Like anime-wise, it's all Sony now.
Well, Sony doesn't have Crunchyroll. Funimation got Crunchyroll.
No. Sony has acquired Crunchyroll.
Okay, like last I heard, Funimation got Crunchyroll.
And Funimation is under the Sony brand now.
Okay, so, if that's so, then you're good.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it's the anime aspect, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I plead, I put up on the stand that Sony is going to dominate anime, whether you like it or not. And if you don't like it, don't watch it.
I don't think that is a surprise because Sony has always appealed more to Japan and the Japanese market, whereas Xbox and Microsoft has been more stateside here, the United States. So to me, I think that's a no-brainer. And I'm not surprised that that's happening, but yeah, I think my prediction, that's gonna happen in 2021. That Ubisoft will be if not the next, but they'll come on Game Pass. We're gonna see Ubisoft titles on Game Pass as well. So who knows? Maybe there'll be a couple of surprises. Who knows? That'd be nice.
I agree.
Well, you know what's the best thing? We'll come out on top. We'll get to enjoy it because we're Ultimate Pass holders.
Yeah, most definitely.
Oh man, you know what? I have a 14-day pass. Ultimate. What is it? I'm willing to give it away if it's not too late, or if you want to save it for the next one.
Oh, maybe we could just let's announce that for the next one, so like that people will tune in. I'll put it on the Discord and whatnot, and have people tune in for a chance to get 14 days of Game Pass Ultimate. And the reality is, guys, if you don't have Game Pass Ultimate, I don't know what you're thinking, because that is the best deal out there, hands down.
Absolutely.
Yep, most definitely.
It is. I'm always looking to see what I can play next on that.
Yeah. Definitely. I've downloaded where's this game that I'm playing. I started playing it and put a couple of hours into it unto the end. And yeah, I should check it out. It's kind of technical. The art is simple, the gameplay is straightforward, but it is a bit technical. And I enjoyed it, but it wouldn't be a game that would have caught my attention if it were not on Game Pass, because I would not have said, oh, I'm going to purchase this game for X amount of dollars just to test it out. But being on Game Pass, it just made it that much more appealing to jump into it. I'm glad I did. So I think it's a pretty cool game. Unto the End, if you guys want to check that out. So another prediction. Let's get some more predictions out here. I'm going to go back to this game of the year. I don't think it's going to be God of War. I don't think God of War is coming out in 2021.
What's your prediction?
I think the game of the year is going to be Cyberpunk. I think it's going to be Cyberpunk 2077 because they're going to patch it up, clean it up, and this current conversation that we're having about the game being trash and a mess and this, that, it's all gonna go away. So I really believe that Cyberpunk is going, and this is the reason why, because CD Projekt Red has proven with The Witcher 3 that they can do it. They got a track record there. And once they start releasing the free DLC content, people are just going to eat it all up. They're going to be ready for more Cyberpunk. And that's what CD Projekt Red is going to give them. Not to mention that they have not said anything, and I don't think they'll say anything for quite some time. But this game is supposed to also have a multiplayer component, which I don't think we'll see for anytime soon. But the game is in its infancy. And again, I think all this bad press and all of this, not saying that they didn't deserve it, but it's all going to be forgotten. Someone else is going to put out some trash or do something else that they shouldn't. And CD Projekt Red is just going to put their head down and they're going to turn this game around.
You know what? I hope they do, because I'm just tired of hearing about all the bad press right now. The game deserves better than what it's getting at the moment.
Yeah. It's getting what it deserves at the moment, which is like a two-edged sword. It's amazing on PC and it's trash on consoles. I mean, that's what's the story is out there. But like I said, I think they're going to be game of the year, especially if they get this patch for the Xbox Series S and X, and for the PlayStation 5. Yeah, I think it's a lot of people are going to be like, oh, snap. This is why I bought my console system. Because remember, there's people playing on console that are not ever going to play this game on a PC. No matter how great it looks, they're console players. And they're going to experience true ray tracing, locked frames. They're going to experience this game as a true next-gen game. And they're going to be blown away. So
yeah, I would say it'll get Game of the Year if they can get the content in the game to where it needs to be on time.
Yeah, they will. They will. That's my prediction. Game of the Year, Cyberpunk 2077 for 2021.
I can't really, I can argue it, but it'd be no point, because it just, what you said makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
And I'm even though I'm with God of War, I also want to throw a little bit of, a couple of pennies in that bag as well.
All right, so let me ask you guys this. Do any of you foresee that we will get Halo Infinite complete by the end of 2021?
No.
Jay with a quick no.
Dude,
he said no.
No.
Why not?
Your Honor and people of the jury, I lay upon evidence rack number 1, which is the game has a new director. And when the game starts off, when one director leaves and another one takes over, the game's already going to be headed to a new direction. So you're automatically looking at delays and pushback. So people expect delays and pushbacks. 2021, I would say no. Early 2022, absolutely.
Okay. So no Halo Infinite 2021.
It was already supposed to have been released this month, right?
Yeah.
Its release date was, and it's already been put back.
And it was pushed back till next year.
Yeah.
Actually, they've announced and posted that it will be here November 2021.
No. Cyberpunk announced it too, and look what happened. So
fall 2021. That's really late in the year.
Yeah,
for it to be a game.
It's 2022.
You think it's coming 2022? Okay.
I'll put my head under the guillotine for that one.
Ooh. Okay.
I will go under the guillotine for it.
Okay. Brother's serious about that. So 2022. I would have agreed with you, Jay, if I didn't know that. And what you said makes perfect sense, that they got the new leadership in there. But I've also heard, and I think it's pretty common news, that this new leadership has also stated that he's played the full campaign twice. And that
Well,
right now, what they're doing is polishing the game.
well, you know what? I can honestly say that anybody that's working at that company could come out and say anything just to shut us up.
Okay.
Because if they came out and they're polishing the campaign, why is the game pushed all the way back for another basically full year? That makes no
Hey,
sense.
I mean, we saw the mess that it looked. I mean, the textures, it looked like a 360 game when
Exactly.
when they launched that little trailer and whatnot. But
And
I don't know
not
nothing
to
about
mention,
game development, how long it takes to polish a game, but
and that's why I'm saying, you're talking about, and Lord knows if they don't know honestly if they're going to stick with this whole open world thing, or if it's going to be a straight, campaign and then build on multiplayer. Like they really haven't given us true details. It's just Halo Infinite coming soon.
mm,
That's all you get. And then, you can read news on, hey, this person said this. My retort would be, can you show me evidence? I don't
okay,
want to hear what
fair
you
enough.
have to say. Show me where you played the game, because I remember when they were like, yo, man, this person played Anthem. Anthem is great. And Anthem got shot running out the door.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
so, so at the end of the day, cool. I'm cool with developers saying anything they want to. That's fine. They're allowed to do that. But I'm done with the days of a developer saying something that they turn around and it be something else. I'm done with that. Put it on paper and show me some proof, and then you'll shut me up.
Well, I hope you're right that if Halo Infinite needs to come out in 2022 and they don't rush it for 2021, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean, is what I'm saying feasible to both of you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think any game that needs time to cook and for it to be the polished product, not perfection, but the polished product that I'm expecting as a gamer, yeah. I don't have no qualms with that. What about you, Henyo?
You know, I have wishes of what the Game of the Year award should be.
What do you
I don't know who it's gonna be.
what
Yeah,
would, if you can wish for a game, even if the game hasn't been announced, what would you like to see?
I would like to see Far Cry 6 with
Okay.
Giancarlo Esposito. I have always loved the Far Cry series, and it's taken a hit in the last couple of years, or what selections that have come out lately. But I was always into that game, and maybe this time around, there's something revolutionary they could add to the gameplay. Because the story's always been there, and the quality of creating content to it has always been there. So I like that game. I love Far Cry, and I wish it would be a game of the year one year.
Uh,
Also, Flight Simulator. People really gonna enjoy this game. When it hits the console, you're gonna start seeing people asking for, a flight stick on a console. I'm pretty sure there's one out there, if not already, that'll be compatible to it. But the ability to fly around and enjoy the scenery is one to be experienced. So I would love to see a flight simulator as a game of the year. And Cyberpunk, I'm enjoying it. I want to keep getting deeper into it. The storyline, if you follow the storyline and you disregard everything else, the game looks the way it should. The characters that you're interacting with look perfect.
all right.
Everything else that, is up for question.
All right. So let me throw some titles at you guys for the upcoming year, and we'll kind of expand this conversation before the end. So 2021, we got Hitman 3. Any takers on Hitman 3?
No, I don't think it's gonna be a game of the year. Um, do I think it's gonna come out? Yeah, I think that game will come out. No delays.
Okay, of course. Henyo mentioned Far Cry 6. And you got anything on Hitman, Henyo?
Hit. I've only played a little bit of Hitman, and from what I enjoyed, from what I played, I've enjoyed it. But I don't think it's game of the year quality type of gaming. Something like revolutionary that's like, oh wow, this is really awesome what I'm experiencing. I don't think it's that type of gameplay unless they really switch it up from what they've done in the past.
Oh, excellent. Okay, now we got Resident Evil Village.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil has a cult following. I think it's going to be up there because of that, because it's a resurgence of that series, especially with Resident Evil 7 that just dropped a couple years ago. So I can see that game being in the talks. It's all gonna depend on. I really think it's all gonna depend on the length of the game. Is it going to be one of those games that's going to keep you engaged and it's not going to climax like 2/3 of the game in? You know what I'm saying? I think that was a criticism for Resident Evil 7. That it 2/3 of the game was great and then the last third was like ho hum. So yeah, I can see Village being something that's in the talks.
Okay, now we got the new Horizon Zero
for PlayStation.
Yes,
I don't think that game's gonna be a Game of the Year contender, and I'll tell you why. Because it was developed for the PS4 Pro, not exclusively for the PS5.
Okay. Now we got Gotham Knights.
I'm biased. I want to see Gotham Knights do well. But I don't know. I don't know if it'll be a Game of the Year contender.
And that's how I feel with Far Cry.
Okay.
Exactly like how I feel for Far Cry.
Now, this might make Paco happy. Dying Light 2.
Dying Light 2 is going to be really interesting. I'm not a zombie person, but I really enjoyed Dying Light 1. I never finished it. I played a lot of it, and the game was fun. And Dying Light 2 looks like it's going to bring that back and expand on the world, like really expand on the world. That one I have to see is a wait and see. But that game has been cooking for so long, I don't even know if it's going to come out 2021.
That's true. Now, a game that we have seen and we don't talk about much, but we gotta talk about it now. Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank. You know what?
I don't play those games, so I can't.
I played the last Ratchet and Clank on the PS4 Pro. I enjoyed it. It was a cute game, but that's all it was.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah. I don't, the whole showcasing the time warping thing on the PS5, I think that was cool because it shows off the power of the, SSD, the speed and all that. But it's nothing more than that. It's a pretty game. It's a cartoon.
Well, fair enough. Henio, any words?
No, I've never played the game, so I can't really.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of it. I think I may have seen the two characters.
I gotta go back before you continue, Jay, and I have to agree with Henyo about Flight Simulator possibly being on the console a contender for Game of the Year.
Interesting.
I could see that if Xbox, if Microsoft converts that over to successfully to the console and people are introduced to that experience, I can see that game being a contender, a strong contender.
This game has things to do in it. You could do things. You just don't fly around. And there are challenges, there are sceneries, and there are not adventures. Like it doesn't have like storyline adventures, but there are landing challenges, there are touring challenges, and so forth. So, you're not just gonna boot up the game and fly around and not have no direction.
Right.
Game gives you direction.
Okay.
And when you said a little earlier about helicopters, that caught my attention. I was like, if there's helicopters, I'd be down to like pilot a helicopter.
That does sound kind of dope.
I think it allows you to take in the scenery more on a helicopter. So, but they'll come out with it. It's just a matter of time.
Well, and the scope of a helicopter also, like, I may not want to like be on a 2-hour flight. I may just want to like, fly over a city.
Right.
In a helicopter. It's just a different experience.
I do that around New York all the time. I take off from LaGuardia. I go around New York City or go around Co-op City and come back down south and land in JFK. That's a 20-minute ride.
Right.
Sometimes I'll go over to Jersey. Depending, the areas that I do that when I'm really want to test the game and new settings.
Right.
Very good. Now, since we're talking about vehicles, Gran Turismo 7.
I wish I could get into that series, man.
Yeah, same here, but again, and it might be biased, but once I played Forza Horizon 4, there's no need for me to play anything else.
Fair enough.
As far as a car sim, I think hands down, Turn 10 and Forza Horizon series, there's no one that can beat them.
All right, let me go ahead and throw a favorite out there for me and you in time. Monster Hunter Rise.
Monster Hunter Rise. Again, I'm completely biased on this. Monster Hunter for me would win the award for the game that keeps on giving. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Year after year. Monster Hunter Rise, I hope it is not going to get stuck on the Nintendo Switch. I hope that they release that game. I don't care if it's 6 months or a year later. I hope they release it on other platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, PC. Because the Monster Hunter series deserves to be on every single platform, including your toaster.
I agree.
Yep.
All right.
If it stays on the Switch, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a lot of fun. But because it's going to be strictly on the Switch, if that's the case, it's not going to be a contender.
All right. Moving on. Go ahead.
Question. Do sports titles make it to the Game of the Year awards? Nah, I haven't seen one, right?
You know what? Sports titles and first-person shooters don't, like, I can't even tell you if there's been a even a contender for Game of the Year for those two genres.
Not at all. Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
Yeah, because you mentioned that Far Cry. I'm really interested for the first time, because I'm not a Far Cry person, but for the first time, I am interested in this Far Cry 6 that's coming, just because of the story, what it looks like it's going to be. And again, I don't know nothing about the gameplay, but the story looks compelling enough that I'm willing to give it a shot.
Okay, now I'm gonna throw a game out there that's been hinted at, and there's still little information, but we have seen something on it. Ghostwire Tokyo.
Not interested.
Wow, you shot that one down out the gate. Like,
flat out, not my genre. I don't like those. Like, and again, my opinion, those quirky, psychedelic, games that I gotta like stand on my head to figure out. Nah, I just doesn't. That's like BioShock is a real popular series. I could never get into it.
Huh.
I just never could.
And Henio says,
Henyo's cracking up. I don't know why.
they're rolling. What's up, man?
You said what? You can't believe I said that?
Yeah.
Why? Why is that?
Shark series is legendary, man.
Yeah, no, I know it's legendary. I've seen playthroughs and I've enjoyed the playthroughs, but me play it like I can never get myself to play it. I don't know. It's strange. I just I've seen the playthroughs for it, and I think I see what the hype is about. But for me to play it, no, I've never been interested.
Those are fun games to play, just like those type of like first person type of shooter games like Far Cry, BioShock. I'm really enjoying it, and that's how I'm hoping that Cyberpunk brings to it, like that. That level of fun. If you want to get in there, you want to, if you get shot at while crossing the street, all right, let's get into it. Type of
right.
That's what I want to see from Cyberpunk.
Okay, and the final game that I'm going to say is a sleeper hit, but I recommend everybody keep their eye on it. What do you guys think of Medium?
Medium.
Wow. Medium was supposed to drop in December this month, but it got out of the way of Cyberpunk.
Good move.
So it's supposed to drop now in January, right?
Yeah, so it's 2021.
The Medium. Well, that's your genre. You like that spooky stuff. I can neither say nay or yay because the genre I'm not, it doesn't appeal to me.
Okay, Fred, what about you, Henyo?
I've never heard of this game.
Look it up.
Yeah, look it up. The concept is not original, but it looks interesting what they're doing with it.
Right.
Yeah, check it out. Do your research. It might be a take it or leave it game for you, but keep an eye on it. And to say these words, I'm gonna go ahead and lead this off. So I started this. Ladies and gentlemen, 2020 had its ups and its downs, and leave all the disgusting crap that happened in 2020. Leave it here. If you got to write 2020 on a piece of paper, take it out back and shoot it. Be done. Be done with 2020. Let's start 2021 with a bunch of happiness and love, and not a bunch of hate and complaining. Hey,
I agree.
If you love gaming, we got a lot to look forward to coming up in 2021. We got a lot to be happy about and a lot to be excited about. So, gaming developers, if any of you ever hear this, I wish you guys the best. Give us your best product, because if you want my money and my time, you're going to give me what I want. I'm not going to be entitled to it. But if you want it, give it to me on the plate. And if it ain't worth my time, I'm going to slide it to the side and move on to the next.
I have to include here the chat, Nate, as far as like the conversation we had earlier about either if Nintendo would drop a new system or announce a iteration of their current system. He said that we need another big console and that would be something dope to see. He also says regarding sports games that they killed the story modes on them. That's why sports game story modes suck and no one wants to play them. That because the sports games on its own, unless it's going to like pull you in and make you feel a part of like the team, I guess, for lack of better words, how do you really like present that as an actual game that's not a simulation, unless that's what you are looking for, a simulation? And most people, I would assume, that play sports games are looking for that simulation.
Just to say something, Nate, to you, Nate, if you're in here, if you have a problem with that aspect of sports games, your fights with EA, because EA ruined that for everybody.
Yeah. What about that soccer game that you that's based on an anime or something that you like playing?
Captain Tsubasa?
Yeah, maybe that's something you can talk to Nate about and have him play that. That's
Nate
story driven, isn't it?
It is, but it's a different kind of thing. It's only on PlayStation. It's not on Xbox.
Okay.
But I want that game. I think Captain Tsubasa is something more on my level, only because I played games like that for a long time, and I know what I'm getting when I get something like that. Nate, I would definitely recommend it if you happen to go PS5 or you run into a PS Pro. I definitely recommend Captain Tsubasa. But as far as any kind of NBA or hockey or anything, especially done by Electronic Arts, don't even put it on your radar, brother. Just let it go.
MLB The Show's coming cross-platform.
MLB. I was wondering if MLB is going to hit Xbox this year.
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
I haven't heard anything on that.
I can't imagine other than wise. They made the announcement in 2019, so they know about it already, and I'd be surprised if it doesn't drop cross-platform.
Yeah, because I think if they made this year it would be 2021 MLB, and they actually made it built for the PS5 and the Xbox Series S and X, I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
people will be like, "Wow, baseball is back on the Xbox."
People lose their mind, and even better if they made it crossplay.
Oh, see,
that would be great.
See, you have me up there talking to old Henry about what I need to do and everything else.
What was that comedian that said, "Oh, Chris Rock, slow down"?
I think with sports games, it just behooves them that they all be cross-play. The bigger the community, the better. For sports games, the longevity.
The problem with sports games is it's like shooting, but with a ball. You gotta have that timing, and if you don't have that timing, if you have too much lag in your network, you will be frustrated as an online game player.
Right.
And
that makes sense.
And I won't say I'm not gonna. There have been issues with, the show with with online game playing. It's well documented. So to add cross-platform might kind of make that a bigger issue.
That's true. Because you have Microsoft with their own satellites and servers, and then you got PlayStation with their own servers, and that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and basically, if your internet sucks, well, you suck.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to say to that aspect is anything sports related, cross-platform, whatever. I myself, and I recommend everybody else do this, lay it down on EA, lay it to their feet and go, we want cross-play. We want this. Because if you don't do it, you won't get it.
Well, and not just, and you know what? And I'm going to throw 2K in there as well, because they're going right along the same line as EA with greed and screwing it up. And you know what? It's no longer just EA. Now it's EA and 2K. So
EA has a bigger hand in it.
Yeah.
So, since EA right now is the hand that's feeding the children, hey, I got to go after the biggest hand.
Yeah, I hear you. But I think everybody else follows suit. I got two more, and something you didn't mention, and I've been kind of reserving them. Do any of you think that we will see even preview actual in-engine gameplay for Anthem next in 2021?
Oh, wow. You had to go there, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to say yes.
Okay. So you think we'll get a snippet, actual gameplay, not a CGI trailer, actual in-engine gameplay for Anthem next?
I'm going to say, and I'm going to say this since we kind of had the conversation, I'm going to go back to if E3 is online like they did it this year, Anthem Next will be at the next game show. It will be there.
Okay.
Because if it's not there, EA will be shooting themselves in the foot. I think that Anthem has like promising potential, and I think there are a lot of people that were really hurt. I know I was, and Tom, I know you were hurt as well, because the potential for Anthem, we were excited because you guys got to remember Anthem and Division 2 pretty much launched at the same time. And
about a month apart.
Yeah, and we were excited, and then we were let down.
By
Anthem,
both.
I want to say that I have high hopes from Anthem next. I'm going to go ahead and say it now. You know, they were dashed with the first Anthem, but Anthem 2.0, Anthem Next, Anthem Remade, however you want to write it, I have high hopes for the game, and I hope that it is all that it's going to be cracked up to be. I hope they do this game justice. I hope they do it right.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Do any of you think that Ubisoft will announce in 2021 the next in the series, and you know what's coming, right? Of the Division.
Oh man, don't even play with my emotions like that. Don't even do me like that.
Do you think they will? Do you think they're going to announce the Division in another location?
No.
In 2021?
No.
You don't think so?
No. I think that the Division has been a struggling property for Ubisoft the past few years, and they're barely even keeping their heads above water with the Division 2. That game has been a letdown, and they need to sit down at the table and draw up a game that says if it's going to be Division 3, it better be literally jaw-dropping, like, whoa, this is what Division's supposed to be. If they ain't do that, I don't even want to look at Division anymore.
Well, I'm going to put this out there, and the reason why I bring that up is because I remember when Division 1 was out, and I don't know if you got a email from Ubisoft, because I played the alpha and then I played the beta, so I was in there like real early in the game, and followed the game from like its inception. And I remember a survey they sent out, and one of the questions was as to the setting of the game. Like, they were basically asking, where would you like to see a setting for the Division? And of the 4, they didn't mention Washington. I didn't remember Washington in there, but I remember 2 other of the locales. One of them was London in England, if I'm not mistaken. And another one, which I think would make perfect sense, being that the first one was New York, the second one was Washington, D.C. They mentioned Boston.
If I had to throw a city or a state out there, I would say something. Honestly, I'd go generic and say California, because it's a huge state, and it just gives you more to work with. And sadly enough, California's in the middle of a hot spot right now, so I definitely could see that being a possibility. In theory.
I could see it being overseas. It's just, sometimes a really good change of scenery will help. But I could see it overseas. Nothing particularly local to America.
Yeah, I found it interesting that they put that locale there, and then we got the announcement eventually for Watch Dogs taking place in London. So, when I thought about that and I said, oh, okay, they had that locale picked out, but it's because they had Watch Dogs already planned out. And again, I'm not saying the next one is going to happen in Boston, but I remember that being a choice on there in that kind of that survey that they were doing. So it'd be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if they announced Division 3 or I don't know. I don't see it as an expansion. I see it as a whole other game just because of the history that Ubisoft has, not only with that series, but with all the other series. And how old is the Division 2 now? It's going to be 2 years, right?
2 years.
Is it 2 years or is it more?
I think it's 2 years.
Yeah, and Division 1 was what? 2 years, right?
3.
It went on 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we played that game a solid 3 years.
So it would be time for Ubisoft to make an announcement.
Well, I would, if I was Ubisoft, I would wait at least another year or two and give us the game that people deserve and the game they want to put out.
That's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen.
I'm just giving my opinion.
That's a cash cow. Division is not gonna change. That world, the locale's gonna change, but the structure of the game is gonna remain the same unless, again, they have some sort of revelatory change of heart or whatever and change the game. But I think it's gonna be the same game coming out. Last one, I promise, because this one I've been reserving. Because we mentioned Anthem, we mentioned The Division, we mentioned these open world games that I think each of us here has somehow, some way been exposed and somehow, some way were hooked, addicted at one time or another. There's a game coming called Outriders. Have you guys heard of the game?
I have.
You have? How about you, Henya?
I think I saw that name somewhere.
Okay, well, I'm a bit interested. I can't even tell you that I'm yes, super excited, but it looks very promising as far as, what the map that they've shown so far and the actual gameplay and stuff. Take a look. Tell me what y'all think the next time we chat. But I think Outriders, if it delivers on what has been shown up until this point, I think that it'll be probably the first game. Well, not the first game. It'll be the next game to get this open world, play as service or whatever they call it, game like Destiny. I think they're gonna do well.
We'll see. Oh, I want to say this. What is that game called? That's basically the new Left 4 Dead.
Oh, Back 4 Blood.
Yeah, I'm actually interested in.
Yes, me too. From the and it's the same. It's the same developers of Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, so
Little Rock or something it's called.
Yeah, you guys.
Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock.
Those of you who are listening, keep an eye out for that game. I think that game's going to surprise everybody next year.
Yeah, I think that's coming summer of 2021. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun to play. It's in the same vein of Left 4 Dead. And if you haven't played Left 4 Dead, you've been living under a bridge. Go play that game. It is backwards compatible. So go play. Go play it on Xbox. Check it out. And that's all I have here for our episode. Unless you guys want to add anything else to it.
I do.
Go for it.
To the 365 subscribers that we have, I want to say thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for coming in. Tell your friends, tell your family. If people don't like what we have to say, look, y'all roast me in the comments. Aim your hatred, aim it at me. I love stuff like that. But thank you guys so much for subscribing and listening and coming back for more. Just leave us comments. Tell us things we can improve. We enjoy this stuff. We do it for free. This is for fun. Thank you guys so much for being here. We enjoy you.
Yeah, that's all that we can do. Just talk about this hobby that we love. And it still surprises me that we could get on and we always got something more to talk about. I sometimes I think to myself, what else can we say that we haven't already said? But somehow, some way, we still put one together, and I enjoy the conversation as much as our previous podcast, and I look forward definitely to the next one. Henyo, take us home.
Without a doubt, yeah. Thank you all. Yeah, definitely feedback helps. We're just gamers, and we want you guys to get engaged in the conversation. Give us direction. Tell us what's right, what's wrong. And that's what the conversation is all about. How we feel about the state of the game, and what we have fun, playing and stuff. So thank you very much. We hope to get more feedback from you guys. It's really important to get that feedback and let us have it. It's good to to hear that feedback, because it lets us know you're participating. So thank you all. And for the next year, 2021, I think we all need to just try something a little different. Cross a genre that you haven't tried before. Explore something different. I know I like certain titles, and I know I like certain type of gameplays, but I think with all the hardware that we have out nowadays, it's okay to try something different and something new. So for 2021, we should definitely try something different.
Definitely. And I think in the words of Henyo and Jay, we're just looking to grow, not just as a channel here at Drama for Gaming, but as human beings. And definitely we seek to grow by exposing ourselves to new things. That's why we have this conversation. That's why we have the diverse minds here, exposed to different genres and different experiences. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I've learned a lot in 2020. It hasn't all been negative. I'm blessed to have good friends, good family, good people. And I want to keep my focus on the good, not ignore the bad, not pretend it's not there, but to be thankful for the things that are right and continue to be right. And yeah, Happy New Year. We will catch you in 2021.
Wait, who got a dog howling in the background? Really?
Who got a what?
Somebody heard a dog howling in the background.
That was Henyo already celebrating. I'm surprised he didn't have like the little the horn and stuff. Should have brought it on. All right, guys. We'll catch you next year. Be good to one another. Do good to one another. And as always, keep it drama free, people. Later.
All right, guys.